Hey everybody, welcome to FabFit Friday. I'm kind of excited because we are going to be putting a finishing touch on my Japanese woven cotton shorts I'm working on, and I'm actually wearing them right now. So when people start to come in, I will stand up and show you how they fit. Hi Diane, welcome. Diane, your waistband kit is in the mail. Thank you for ordering it. I've been working on a bunch of different things, and I think while we're waiting for a few more people to come, I want to show you something I'm super excited about. It's not sewing, but it is crochet. So I just want to talk about my crochet for 1 second, just because I am in love. I'm in love with this process. So you can see here, I started a prayer shawl for Carol's Garden. My sister and I have this separate thing we're doing where we're taking donations for knitted and crocheted prayer shawls, and then we donate them to local memory care places. So I try to contribute as many of them myself. My sister and I knit and crochet. Well, I'm just learning to crochet, but I've knit many of these prayer shawls to donate. And then we also get donations from around the country, which is very, very cool. They all get sent to my sister's house, so I get to see them from the Facebook page, Carol's Garden Facebook page. I'll put a link to that Facebook page in the description after I get off later if you're interested. Let me just stop and say hi to Amy and Janie and Lynn. Welcome. Oh, it's chilly in South Carolina. It's kind of funky here. It's about 60 some odd. I think it's going to be a rainy weekend, so I went hiking this morning to start my weekend off with that. But I just wanted to show you I'm learning to crochet. This is this pattern is called Dance Card, and you can see it's a one bird level of difficulty. So my first foray into crochet, and I'm going to be hopefully making 60 inches of this to be a prayer shawl for Carol's Garden. So if anybody here knits or crochets, I'll put a link to Carol's Garden information in the description after I get off. And if you'd like to join us and knit or crochet a prayer shawl and donate it to Carol's Garden, we're looking at going to Rocky Hill, Connecticut, to a memory care place there as our next stop. And the cool thing is we collect a lot of these shawls. I mean, we get them in the mail. My sister gets one, a few times a week. And so what we do is we bring them all, we wrap them up with a ribbon, and we let each patient pick out their own prayer shawl. So it's kind of a nice thing. And again, I'm mostly showing this to you because I'm excited that I'm learning to crochet. So that's that. Let me just stop and welcome everybody else. Hi, Karen. She says, love the color yarn. What a lovely project. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Escape 10 Mom says, hi from South Florida, and she loves to crochet. Well, if you want to join me and crochet a prayer shawl for Carol's Garden, please click the link. I'll put it in the description below. Plus, there's a whole tab on my main menu on my website that has all of the free patterns. So all the patterns are free. You can just download them. And then, hi, Tana. I recently added your channel to my subscription. Your lessons are so helpful to me. Thank you so much for joining me and following along. I really, really appreciate it. And hi, Diane. Welcome, everybody. All right, so I'm going to get off my new hobby topic. And I'm going to stand up and I'm going to show you my shorts. Now, if you remember last week, my shorts sucked. And sometimes I do crazy things, like I'll test a pattern and then I'll cut it out on the bias. Like, who does that? I don't know. But I will show you my results. Now, they're not 100% perfect, but I will say I am pretty pleased. So let me just show you the front. So here's the front. Okay, and then here is the back. Okay, so you can see They're um, they're not perfect, but they are so comfortable. And if you're wondering, I'm going to turn to the side so you can see the side view. I have been sitting in these for hours, and notice the fabric is not bagging out. I was wondering if it would do that because I cut them out on the bias, but I'm really very pleased. And you can see here I did a elasticized waistband. So I finished that with a casing in the fabric that matches the pocket opening. So those are my shorts. And today what we're going to do is we're going to hem them. So let me just take them off so I can show you them on the table. Hold on one second. All right, I'm just going to put my yoga pants back on here. Okay. All right, so I'm really kind of excited about the way these ended up coming out. And I cut them to the length that I want them to be, minus just a little bit of a seam allowance, because I'm going to show you what we're going to do here. Hold on one second. I think I'm going to use, okay. All right, so, all right, let me show you what we're going to do now. Whoop. Okay, so let's just see. Oh, Diane Bacon says your shorts look lovely. Diane Fetter says shorts so cute. Francis says great shorts. I admire and appreciate your innovation. Mary says hi there. Always a delay in getting to your show up on YouTube. There's always a delay in getting your show up on YouTube. Yeah, I think there is a little bit of a delay between when I start and when it pops up. Escape 10 Mom loves the contrasting fabric. Lynn says shorts are cute with that waistband. Karen says looks really good. Remind me, looks like knit fabric. Nope, this fabric is Japanese woven cotton that I got at Sew Expo, and it was pretty pricey. I spent over $100 in this particular booth, and I didn't get a lot of yardage, so it was kind of risky for me to try to, I fit them on a straight of grain, the pattern, and then I cut them on the bias, and then I had to take them apart, if you remember. And so I want to remind everybody, let me just shut this, hold on a second. This is annoying. Okay, that's better, sorry. I just want to remind everybody that, if you're working on fitting pants and if you end up with an issue after you sew them together, you can take them back down to one leg and refit them on your non-stretch waistband. And that's what I ended up doing. So if anybody was with me last week, they might remember that the fit was kind of wonky. So I took the leg off and I ended up refitting it around the top of the waistband, and I ended up getting rid of some of the vertical length along the waistband, and that's how I got these to fit better. So keep that in mind if you're working on pants. All right, so let me show you here. This is, so literally this, the waistline itself, let me move me, hold on one second. Oops. I'm just gonna move me over here so I'm not in the way. And then I can show you. This waistband was literally just a 5-inch strip of this fabric, and I folded it in half and I sewed it on. You can still see I still have to serge all the raw edges together so they don't ravel. So I will be finishing this edge with the serger, and then I'm going to top stitch right below the seam to hold that in place. So that's how I'm going to finish the waistband. And you can see also I left a little hole here, for the elastic. So I've already sewn my elastic into a circle. Now I just need to sew my hole shut. So I have to finish the waistband. But Escape 10 Mom says that's so cool you can do so cool that you can do that. I'm learning so much. I love this content. Oh, well, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. I have to admit though, I really have a lot of fun with you guys. I love my FabFit Friday group. All right, so what we're going to do here is I am going to measure the finished edge of my hem. So I'm just going to measure it here on my mat. We're going to say it's 10. I'm going to go with 10 and a half, or wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11 and a half. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some facings from the same fabric that I've been using as my contrast. So basically what I'm going to do here is I am going to open it up and see what I have left. See, all these, most of the fabric I bought were just either, like half yard or, 3/4 yard cuts or a fat quarter. Some of the pieces I got were pretty small. I think what I'm going to do just to make this easy on myself is I'm going to use this edge over here that I haven't cut from. And I'm going to cut myself a, let's say, the width of my facing is going to be about, let's say 1.5. I'm going to cut it 2 inches, and then I'm going to fold the edge, the top edge under a quarter, and I'm going to use a 1/4 inch to sew it on. That's going to give me a 1.5 inch hem allowance. So basically I'm just going to use my ruler, which I have buried under here. Okay, and I'm going to cut. I'm just going to straighten it out first here. All right, I'm going to cut myself a 2-inch strip like this. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my iron over here, and I'm going to just press the whole top edge under a 1/4 inch. So we are making, oh, let me just make sure. I think this is enough fabric, right? I just have to make sure it is enough fabric. Hold on. Let me just move my microphone out of the way. All right, so let's just measure this. So I know I need 11 inches finished. So I need, let's just make sure I have, all right, so I'm gonna need, all right, that's not enough to do 2, that's only enough to do 1. So let me cut 1 more, sorry about that. I thought they would be long enough to do 2. So let me just cut 1 more 2-inch strip here. Okay. All right. All right, now I have enough. And I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to measure let me see. Let's do 11, and I'm going to just fold this in half like this so it's a little bit more than 11. Because I know I need 10 and a half. I'm sorry, 11 and a, what did I say? 11 and a half. Okay, so I need to have probably, we'll do 12 and a half. I'm going to do a 1/2 inch seam allowance here. So basically I'm going to cut these to 12 and a half. So here's 1. And let me just match this one up. I can use these scraps. I'm saving all of these scraps for another project. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but I am planning something. All right, let me just cut this one to match. Let me just verify I did that right. Yep, 12.5. Okay, 12.5 and 12.5. Okay. All right. So now I've got the two bands for my hem. Mary wants to know if any of the facing is going to show, and the answer to that is no. The reason why I'm not doing a band that's contrasting around the bottom edge of the shorts is because if you, I mean, these shorts are already short. They're already above my knee. I don't want to break up the line of it at the hem. I don't want to put like a block of color here. So the whole entire facing is going to be facing inside, I'm sorry. So the first thing we're going to do here is I am literally just going to press these edges up a 1/4 inch. Now, if you don't want to take the time to press your edge up, you can just clean finish it on the serger. That would work as well. But I'm going to do it this way so it has a nice clean finish. And I'm just eyeballing a 1/4 inch here. It might be slightly larger than a 1/4 inch, but that's okay. So see, I'm just folding it up a 1/4. Let me get myself a little bit closer so you can see what I'm doing. Let me make it a little bit brighter. I feel like we're a little dark today. Oh, Mary thinks a 1/4 inch would be stylish. So a little 1/4 inch, Mary. Well, you know what? I could do that. I could wrap it around the edge. We can try it without committing, actually. Let's try it. All right, so that one's finished. Now let's do this one. We can try it and see, and maybe we will like it. Okay, so again, I'm just gonna press this. Now, I just want to show you this woven fabric has give to it. See how it's got give? I mean, it's not stretch, but it does have give. So I'm not really going to worry about the fact that I cut my strips out straight on the grain and I'm sewing them to a bias leg because I think this fabric is really stable on the bias. Like my butt did not push out, you know, it didn't push out when I sat in it for several hours. All right, let me just stop and say hello to Janie. I'm sorry, Judy. Oh, Mary Lynn likes the 1/4 inch showing as well. All right, we're going to try it. All right, so the next step is I'm going to sew these into a circle. And remember, I included a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So when I sew this up, I am going to sew it using a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay, let's see. All right, so I've got my thing here, and I think I'm ready. Ouch. Just want to make sure my thread is okay. I caught my thread stand on my hat hoop when I was rolling it by, so I just want to make sure I don't have an issue with my thread. It's all wackadoo back here. See, it's all funked up over here. I just want to make sure it's gonna, yeah, so let me just fix this. All right, I think we're gonna be good now. All right, so I've got my thread ready to go. I am going to sew the facings at a 1/2 inch. Diane wants to know if there is a website for this fabric. Let me just look here. The brand is Seven Berry, made in Japan. I don't know. I can't remember the name of the shop I was in, but if you Google Seven Berry, made in Japan, I bet you can find places that will sell this. Seven Berry. Okay. All right, let me just see what Karen is saying. Karen is saying the SOG stripes will help control the bias. I'm curious to see the strip showing. It might make it look more unique. Those fabrics are gorgeous. Yes, I am excited too, Karen, and we're gonna see. We're gonna try it with it showing. And Joy says, "Hi Jen, love your channel." Well, hi Joy, I love that you're here with me. All right, so we are going to put right sides together here, and I am just going to stitch a 1/2 inch seam allowance here. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. We're going to sew a 1/2 inch. Like this. Okay. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I'm going to pull out my bowl of clips right here. I'm going to use my clips to attach these. So let's just get my hem here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this facing, I'm going to finger press this seam allowance open, and we'll just put this on the inseam. So like this, see? So this is going to match up with my inseam. So I'm just going to clip that there. Like this. Match that up. What did I do with my clips? So I'll put, trying to match that seam up with the seam like that. And I'll just put a clip there. I'll use the clips that I can sew over. And then this should just fit on exactly. And I think we're going to be good. So I'm just going to put some clips around. Like this, just matching up my edges. Now this is a straight leg, so I don't have to worry about tapering or anything. Like I don't have to worry about the top of the facing being too big because down at the bottom here it's a straight leg. It's not tapered. So it'll be okay. All right, so I've got some clips in there. I think what we should do now is just sew it around into a circle. So we're going to sew it using a 1/4 inch. So if we decide we like it, I'll have a little 1/4 inch of the fabric showing. So let's try this and see what we think. Just want to make sure, yep, that's good. All right, let's see. I'm not using the seam allowance marked on these clips to do this. I'm just using it to hold it together here. All right, so we're just going to sew a neat 1/4 inch all the way around. And I'm just making sure my edges are matched up. You know, another thing that can stabilize a bias design is if you add some style lines that are on the straight of grain within your bias garment. Like I said, I just want to make sure our edges are nice and even here. All right, let's see. I'm glad I didn't hem one of these legs beforehand, because then we wouldn't be able to try the two different options. All right, let's see. I just want to again make sure we're even. All right, I'm at my start point, just overlapping my start point. All right. Okay, so let's just look at this for 1 second here. Now I can't understitch if I'm going to keep that showing, right? Because then the understitching will show. So I'm just gonna, let's just get the pressing thing going here. I'm gonna use my sleeve board. All right, I'm gonna use the fat side of my sleeve board right here. Let me see if I can pick this up a little. Gives a little bit more room. All right, so let's take this, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it inside out first, and I'm going to press the seam. So let's stick this on here. So I'm going to press my seam up while also keeping the top edge of my facing down. So let's just, I'm just going to press it up, and then I'm going to put it back down, and we'll wrap it around and see how it looks. I just want to give it a little press here. Can press my seam allowance open there. Give that a little bit of a press. Okay, now I'm gonna press this back down. And we'll see how it looks if I then, ooh, if I fold it over, I'm gonna have a skinny like this. So I'm going to press it up, and then I'm basically pressing it back down like that. Probably should do it from the other side to see if it's even. I'm trying to combine two steps here now. Let me just press this back up, and then we'll flip it. All right. Okay. I'm going to turn this right side out now. Let's see what we have. If I fold this back on itself, this little bit, let's just use, I want to pin it because I want to pin the, I want to pin the top of the facing where it's folded under, because that's where I'm going to sew. So do we like that, do you think? We'll be able to see it better after I finish pinning it, though. think I need this anymore. Let me put that out of the way. Okay. I don't know. What do we think? To turn it this way, this is easier. Okay, let's see. Oops. I dropped them. All right. Let's see. Okay, so here we have the little bit just sticking out. What do we think? Tana says nah. Diane is in definitely prefer the contrasting strip, more sophisticated. Amy says she would like it without. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I am going to leave this like this. I'm going to leave this like this. And I'm not going to press it flat because I'm not sure. Now what I'm going to do, let's sew the other one on and do it the other way so we can compare. That way we'll be able to see for sure what we like. So let me get my other, what did I do with my other one? All right, so here is the one I did. You can look at that while I'm, how could I lose my other oh, here it is. Okay. Okay, so we have like, I like it, and then I see we don't like it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to sew this one on, and I'm going to press it entirely to the inside, and then we can compare. Because sometimes it helps to see it in both versions, and since it doesn't hurt me to leave this one like this, we can do them both. So again, I'm going to just stick this at the inseam. I'm going to press my seam allowances open here. I'm going to stick this right here so it matches. And I'm just going to, oops, wait a minute. Let me get this on here like this. All right, and then we'll compare. That's what we're going to do. All right, so I matched my inseam. And then let's just get this on. I'm just going to put a few pins and we'll sew this one on, and then we'll see what we can see. Oh, look, I'm using all kinds of clips. I got my Wonder clips. I got my Magic clips. Oh, there's another Wonder clip. Just hold them on quickly. All right, let's see what this one looks like. So now, okay, so Mary wants to see the whole thing, and I'm going to show you the whole view. Let me just sew this other side so we can compare. So again, I'm going to sew this at a generous 1/4 inch here. Oh, wait a minute. I got a little excited here. I gotta back this up a little. Okay, hold on. Don't want to get a crazy. All right, I'm going to sew this one around. All right, I'm coming up to my start point. Overlapping my start point. All right, so now let's press this one. All right, so let's see. Lynn wants to know if I'm wearing these casual or dressy. I think these are going to be casual simply because I don't do very many dressy things. I'll wear them to teach in when I teach workshops in person. I'll wear them to, you know, to my parents. I mean, I could wear them to dinner too. I don't know if the hem is going to make a difference. All right, so for this one, we're definitely going to press the hem up all the way around, and then we'll flip it up and see what it looks like. Elaine says, were you not filming? Do you move your hands that fast? No wonder it takes me so long to make anything. Oh, I talked about how I've slowed down actually. I'm spending a lot more time making things. I used to just like make them as fast as I could because the process that I enjoyed the most was actually drafting the pattern. But I have slowed down and I'm actually spending more time making things than I used to. Although my slow pace is probably still fast for some people, but all right, so I'm just going to clip this up. I'm just going to pin this up and then let's just see what we think in terms of view A or view B. If we like it without it showing, I'm going to understitch onto the facing to hold it inside. But for now, I'm just going to pin it up so we can look at it. Oh, and keep in mind, another thing to keep in mind with me, you will never see the waistband and maybe only a peek of the pocket detail because I never tuck my shirts in. So the waistband matches the facing, but it won't show very often because I will not be, you know, tucking my shirt in. If I can ever get rid of my belly, I might. I'm trying to work on it. I'm trying. All right, let's see. Let's look at these two and decide what we think. I'm gonna make it so we can see the whole entire shorts. Let me just fix this pin that came out over here. All right, so let's look at these all. Oh, what does Jen prefer? I'm going to tell you what I prefer when I look at them both. Now you have to remember, I'm a plain Jane. All right, so there we go. We can see the whole entire thing. Do we like having a little peak, or do we like no peak? I'm going to say that I like this better than I thought I was going to. I didn't think I was going to like this at all. But I think if I keep it really thin, let me just really roll it down to the actual quarter. I don't know. What do you guys think? No strip. Amy is a no strip girl. It does look interesting though. It does, but I think I'm of the keep it hidden look too. I think if these were pants and this was down by my ankle, I'd be more likely to like this or to want it to show. You know, if it was down at the very, very bottom of a pant leg. I don't know, ladies. I mean, I agree they both look nice. I do agree that they both look nice. All right, I think we're pretty evenly distributed, so I think I'm going to go with my original keep it hidden because I think I'll also be able to finish the edge nicer by understitching right along the very edge of this and then pressing it up. I think it'll hang nicer than wrapping it, and then I'd have to top stitch up here where the top of the thing is. So let me zoom in here. So if I do it this way, I would have to top stitch. My top stitching would be way up here. And it's going to be way up here on this side too, but I think I'm going to go with this way. And maybe when I do a pair of pants, I will finish a pair with this version. Oh, Francis says prefer no visible bias so it doesn't visually cut your leg length. Well, that was my initial thing. Anytime you put a stripe across a pant, it does cut or it does whatever. But I think I'm going to go with this. So having said that, I thank you all for your opinions, though. This is fun to, decide. Before I hem them up, then, I'm going to take all this off and I'm going to understitch. But I do think I will make a pair of pants like this with the hem showing like this in the fall. Because I like the look of it. I think they do. I think people who said that they both look nice, I think that's true. I think they both look nice. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I am just going to go back in here and I am going to understitch. And I'm going to do it from the right side, so I'm going to turn my shorts inside out. Okay, let's see. You do you. I'm doing me. All right, so I'm going to understitch. And basically that means I'm just going to stitch about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. I'm going to make my stitch length 3. And I'm just going to stitch through the seam allowances and the facing. And what that's going to do is it's going to keep it under wraps. Meaning I'm pulling it apart this way like this. So I'm creating tension across the seam. That will keep the facing from popping its head out. And see, I'm making sure the seam allowance here is pointing down. You know what I think it comes down to? I think people who like cuffed shorts, if you like a cuffed short, you probably would like the contrasting showing. I am not a fan of cuffed shorts because the binding kind of reminds me of a cuff. And I think it does shorten your leg a little. Of course, I have really long legs, so I guess I could afford to be a little shorter. All right, so I've coming to my start point. I'm just gonna, oh, Lynn likes understitching. I know understitching is very underrated. I'll tell you, if understitching can make the difference between making something that looks like you bought it in the store and making something that looks like you made it yourself and you maybe didn't do your best job, it really does a good job of making a nicer, you know, it keeps the facing from poking out. Okay, I'm almost around. All right. I will say that this fabric is so busy, it's very hard to see. It's very hard to see the stitching. It's there, but it's almost hidden. All right, so now let's get out the iron and really give it a nice press. So we're gonna press it into its final position here. Oh, at least it wasn't a red band. Yeah, that's true. If it was really contrasty, that would have been, you know, really, really, oh, I want to do it this way. I'm gonna stand up here. I want to do it from this direction so you can see, I think. All right, so I am going to just fold this up. And so the goal here is I want to see the turn of the cloth. I want to see the right side of the shorts on the inside of the facing. So see how you can just see the turn of the cloth right there? I'm just going to press this all the way around. What is my inseam doing? I might as well take care of that too. Give that a nice press. There we go. Oh, I have to finish these seam allowances too. All right, so I'm not going to be able to finish. So, oh, I forgot I did not serge these. All right, I have to decide what I'm going to do about that. All right, so. All right, so I think I'm going to press these up and then I'm going to call it a day for today because I'm going to have to go back and finish everything on the serger first. I forgot I didn't finish my seams. I didn't finish my seams because I was sitting in these shorts and I wanted to make sure I didn't have to take in anything after sitting in them. So let me just give this a nice press and then, so you know all I have left to do here is top stitch this in place, which I will do after I do some serging. But let's just look at the nice finished pressed hem. All right, let's see. Oop. All right, let's look at it. All right, so with this pressed up, I think that's going to be good. All right, I think this is going to be good. Let me turn them this way. Oh, I think that's going to be nice. Oh, let me make it big so you can see. Boop-a-doop. I mean, you may be able to see a peek of the facing depending on what I'm doing, but I do think that that's going to be nice like that once I get it sewn. So yay, so these shorts are almost finished. All I have left to do is I'm gonna have to go in and clean finish all my seams because I forgot I didn't do that. Then I will top stitch these. And I'm also going to clean finish the seam allowance of the waistband, and we're going to be good. So I'm super excited. All right, so that's this project. I'm going to finish that up later because I have to get my serger set up. What I want to say now is, if you received my newsletter, make sure you open it because I gave away, I mean, not that it's a big deal, but I gave a free PDF with all of my mini pattern pieces. So if you guys want to follow along with me on Tuesdays, Fit Tip Tuesday, or if I'm doing a pattern adjustment and you want to try it on a mini before you try it on your actual full-size garment pattern pieces, that's a freebie I'm giving to people for joining my newsletter. So I gave it to everybody in May's newsletter, where I also advertised my May classes. So check that out. And if you have not signed up for my newsletter yet, if you sign up, you get an instant, it comes with those mini pattern pieces. So you get a free PDF of all my mini pattern pieces for joining my newsletter. So that's something exciting. And Karen wants to know how the butterfly project went. I'm going to show you. We had so much fun. Let me see. Let me show you the butterfly project. So here we are. Oh, let me switch my camera. All right, let me just get this in close so you can see. So here she is with it started. Oh, wait a minute. Whoops, wait. Boop. And here it is finished. So if anybody is wondering about this project, I talked about this Wednesday during subscriber Q&A. I saw this on Instagram where you draw a monarch butterfly on cardboard and then you poke holes in the wings and you put dandelion blooms into the holes. I'm very pleased the way it came out. Although between you and me, she pooped out when we got about this far, so I had to run around and I had to pick the rest of the dandelions to finish it. And see, she was taking pictures of me, so see, she likes to take my phone and take pictures. But there's a close-up. So this is a cool project. If you have any little kids and if you have dandelions in your yard, this is a really cool project. Literally all you're doing, let me show you the picture I snagged off of Instagram. See, you poke holes in the wings. See, and then you fill all those holes up with the dandelions. So that's what we did on Wednesday. We had a really fun time. I promised her that on Wednesday I would not work at all. She doesn't understand, I think, that I work at home, and so sometimes I have to do work when she's here. So I cleared my schedule and we just worked on that butterfly, and it really came out kind of cute. So anyway, Francis wants to know if I'm going to ever cut anything on the bias again. Oh, I'm on a whole bias kick. I'm actually developing a new class for pattern review for June, tips for working on the bias. And the thing about bias is, if you're going to cut out shorts on the bias like this, you should test them on the bias. That's the mistake I made. It wasn't that I didn't want bias. I love bias. I switched gears and I did straight of grain testing, and then I cut them out on the bias. That's where I kind of went downhill. So I will definitely be doing bias. I'm working on a bias dress. I'm playing with different bias things, and I'm going to be developing a class for it actually. So yes, I'll be doing more bias. And yeah, that's everything for today. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I'm teaching if you took any of my pants classes, I'm doing a follow-up for the stitches pants class I taught last month tomorrow, and then on Sunday I'm doing a follow-up if anybody needs extra help with their pants fitting from the Maryland ASG group. So that's what I'm doing this weekend. So anytime I get to teach pants, I'm like super excited. So I'm gonna have a fun weekend doing a little Zoom pants fitting and a little working on my crochet, and I'm gonna have a fun weekend. So I hope you guys have a fun weekend too. Just my final announcement is May is going to be shirt month. Okay, so I'm going to switch gears off of pants. Don't you think this needs a nice, like, capped sleeve button down shirt to go with it? So Tuesdays are going to be fitting tips for sleeves, and then Fab Fit Friday next week we're starting a button down shirt project. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to be using my cup-sized button-down shirt pattern. So anyway, thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining me. I really had a fun time today. And it's always because of you guys. So thank you so much. I will see you next week. And don't forget about subscriber Q&A on Wednesdays. I'm live then too at 1 o'clock if anybody wants to come and ask a question. All right. All right. Have a nice weekend, guys. Bye-bye.